So I whipped this up over the past couple weeks, and I'm pretty psyched for it. It's doing outside air ventilation calcs in Revit using the building information modeling thing. So let me just show this real quick. So I'm going to pop in here. So I've got my vent calc template calculation schedule up here, and I got a special view plan for this. So I'm going to add spaces with a button click, which is analyze. I'm going to hit space. And then you can manually add them, but you just hit the button and it'll add them to all of them at once. So I can just do that. So it created the spaces automatically, and you can see it started filling out my vent calc spreadsheet, and it put on these special tags that I have with a bunch of information about the spaces. And then it names the spaces by default. So I'm just gonna hit the space naming. I'm just breezing through this kind of just to show you some of the stuff. So now it's brought in the room names from the architect's model, so I know what spaces I'm dealing with here. And then so let me just pull this out so you can see some stuff. Okay, so I'm just gonna go on kind of this side, so I don't need to do the whole thing. So I've got my spaces. What I need to do is I need to make some zoning decisions. What spaces go to what zones? So I'm going to hit the zone button, and this conference room is its own zone, and I'm going to call this on an RTU 1, let's say, and then I'm going to make another zone, and I'm just going to put these all in one. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but we're just going quick here. So these, this one, I'm going to click the zone there, and that's RTU 2. So that works. There's a little Revit bug, at least in 2023, where the zone names don't update. But if you just select these and move them, then the zone name updates. Oh, Revit.
Solid workaround right there.
And then so these are my spaces in the schedule. It sorts them together. So these 3 rows here are my RTU2. And then this one, the zone names also sometimes don't update because Revit's a little funky sometimes. So you just like you make a data change and it updates the zones. So a little funky there, but it's all good. Anyways,
Revit,
point
if
is,
you're watching, fix that.
Yeah. So I'm almost done here. But what I can do is I can go in and I need to tell Revit what kind of space this is. So I can say, hey, Revit, this room here, this is a conference room. So the space type, I just click there and I say conference meeting multi-purpose. And this space type has all of these things in here, like area per person, outdoor air per area, all this stuff. So I can enter in here so that Revit knows what my desires are for all of my ventilation properties. So I hit OK, and you can see the change that it changes square foot per person. And then this space is that's an office.
Can you do multiple?
Yeah, you can do multiple.
Have you tried
that? These spaces are all different, which is why I'm one by oneing.
Oh, okay.
But like if these two were break rooms, yeah, I could multi-select and change it.
Nice.
But so you go through, you do that, you define the space names and the default the building. It's got some defaults in there, but you obviously want to change it to the space type that you want. And then in the schedule, you can say, okay, yeah, that's office, that's conference meeting multi-purpose. So let's say we go through the building and we do that. And it's going to show us everything. I made it. Revit thinks in terms of square foot per person. I made a column to calc people per 1,000 square foot because that's the way we think about it sometimes. And it just goes through the ventilation calculation. As you can see, you've got to enter in the zone air distribution effectiveness. And when you do that, it finishes the calc. So do that.
Are those calculated fields?
Yeah, this is a calculated field.
Nice.
FOZ is a calculated field.
Wow.
And then a cool thing about Revit is that it knows if you've got an air terminal with airflow in it in a space, that space knows how much and what kind of air is going into that space. So this column right here is actual modeled supply airflow. It's saying that this space has 500, this space has 300, this space has 200. If we go back here to the plan and we check it out, we can see that we've got this. There's the air terminal. This is what it's reading. And so if I change this to If I just change that to like, 676, I'm going to come over to the vent calc. It is showing me 676 right there. That is bidirectional associativity because I changed it on the floor
Boom.
plan and it updated in the schedule. And then
Look how
specified
we,
supply. And
sorry.
then specified supply airflow. This is a column that's purely like I'm typing it in because over here, this is just calculating it. It's not, I'm intentionally not doing any rounding because I want to see what the calc is actually doing. So here I'm actually typing in like, okay, this needs to be, I mean, that's silly, but this is going to be 25. This is going to be 25, whatever. And then, I can keep on going there with that.
Could you get fancy?
This is the supply. Excuse me. So like, yeah, this is whatever the supply airflow is that I decide. This is the outside, the specified or design outside air. So this is where like this is 10, this is 20, and this is 25 or whatever. Obviously, those numbers are a little crazy. And then it adds it up per the zone. And if that's good, I can put that on my sheet. If I want, I can export it to Excel to do further calcs, further analysis, plugging into anything else. But that's just a quick way, a few button clicks, and I've got my building all set up for my ventilation calculation. So, and this is also something that you don't have to be the engineer to get this set up. Like if you're just like a Revit drafter or a designer, you can get this all set up, do most of the work, have the engineer check it, make some tweaks to it. And so that can really reduce how much the engineers can become bottlenecks in some workflows. So that pushes
Yeah, for sure.